Hello everyone, I welcome all of you once again to the series of ratio proportion, and in this class we are going to discuss the concept of proportion. So I hope you are learning, enjoying the series, the videos, and I wanted to repeat this, that ratio is one of the important topic of the quantitative ability, quantitative reasoning. Similar to the percentage, as we have seen in the percentage series, that we have different topics which are dependent on percentage. If you understand the percentage well, you understand 2-3 extra topics better. Similarly, if you understand ratio and proportion well, you will understand the additional 3-4 topics well. All right. So with that, let's start our lecture number 4 of ratio proportion, and this is class 1 for proportion. Okay, so let's see what is proportion. Proportion, here you can see on the screen. Proportion is, you have the sign of this way, yeah, you get this kind of sign, that's called proportion. If you remove this sign, you have to replace this with equal, with a sign equal and a proportional constant. Yes, what do you do? If you replace this sign, then you have to replace with an equal sign with a proportional constant. All right, this is sign of proportion. Okay, so it's not equal, it is proportional. All right, so there we have directly proportional, and one we have inversely proportional. I am sure you must have heard of these terms, directly proportional and inversely proportional. So let's understand what is directly proportional. Directly proportional means if one side increases, the other side also increases. If one side decreases, then the other also decreases. For example, say you buy some goods, let's say you buy pens. All right, now if I say for 2 pens you are paying 7 rupees. Now if you increase the quantity of pens, let's say if you buy 5 pens, are you going to pay more money or less money? 2 pens, 7 rupees. So for 5 pens, you are increasing the number of quantity from 2 pens. You are talking about 5 pens. So will you be giving more money to the shopkeeper or less? Absolutely right. You are going to pay more money to the shopkeeper. This is called directly proportional. They are not equal, but they are directly proportional. Okay. If you are increasing pens, then you have to pay the cost of 5 pens in the equal proportion. Okay, in the equal proportion. Yeah, for 2 pens, if it is 7 rupees, for 1 pen it will be 3.5 rupees, and for 5 pens you will multiply 5 with 3.5 rupees. Yeah, that's how you do, right? Yeah, so if you are going to buy more quantity, you are going to pay more price, right? Let's say if you put more efforts, if you study well, if you put more efforts, if you give quality time to your studies, if you give more quality time to your studies, you will score more. Your score in exam will be higher. That is directly proportional. Yeah, so quality of time giving to the studies is increasing, so score in your exam will also increase. Directly proportional, right? Yeah, if you increase the time of your time pass, yeah, you waste a lot of time, you do more time pass, your score in exam will be less. Less. Inverse impact, yeah, inverse effect. So that will be inversely proportional. Well, we'll talk about inversely proportional later, but did you understand directly proportional? If one side increases, then other also increases. If one decreases, then other also decreases, right? We can also take example of say speed and time. speed and time. Tell me one thing, if you travel with more speed in the given time, will you cover more distance? Think about it. If you travel with higher speed, let's say in 1 hour, if you travel in higher speed in the same time, are you not going to cover more distance? You are going to cover more distance, right? If you say, for example, if your speed is 40 kilometers per hour, yeah, in 1 hour you cover 40 kilometers, of course, that's why it is per hour. Okay, if you travel with 60 kilometers per hour, then you are going to cover 60 kilometers, right? So when you are increasing the speed, the distance covered in the given time also increases. So speed and time, they are directly proportional. They are not equal, directly proportional. The way you increase speed with the same proportion, distance also increases, or vice versa, right? So I hope this directly proportional. What is directly proportional is clear to you. The sign of proportion is this. If you want to replace with the equal sign, you need to have K, which we call it proportional constant. All right. So I hope this is fine. Now let's take some examples. Let's solve some questions and understand well. All right. So okay, let's take this question first. Let's take this question first. So you got a question which says a recipe required 3 cups of flour to bake 8 muffins. If you want to bake 15 muffins, then how much flour do you require? Okay, do you proportionally need? That's the question, right? So now understand, if you have 3 cups of flour, you have 8 muffins there, right? And if you required 15 muffins, so these are the cups, number of cups of flour, and this is your muffins. All right. Now if you required more muffins, you required more number of cups of the flour, right? So they are directly proportional. They are directly proportional, right? Now how to solve these directly proportional questions? So we have discussed a rule earlier in ratio also, that's called chain rule. Do you remember chain rule? Yeah, chain rule. So we'll understand the chain rule in depth. If you remember, in class number 1 of ratio, I have told you that we will discuss this chain rule in detail later when we discuss proportion. So today is the day. This is the video where we are going to discuss chain rule in detail. So how does chain rule work? This, I'm sure you must have got the answer by now. You know, if we required 3 cups to prepare 8 muffins, then how many cups do we need to prepare 15 muffins? So it's simple cross multiplication, isn't it? It's simple cross multiplication, right? The way we solve this question, if 2 pence cost you 7 rupees, then 5 pence will cost you how much? So what do? I hope you remember that the calculation which you used to do in school, cross multiply, right? Correct. So we cross multiply. Then how do we solve this? How do we solve this? Cross multiply, how do we solve this? I need some extra space. Yes, I got extra space. Yeah, how do we solve this? Cross multiply. We say 3 into 15, and let's say this question mark is, assume this to be x number of cups required, that's equal to x into 8. That is cross multiplication. Yeah, this is chain rule. Remember guys, this is chain rule. So in chain rule, you cross multiply. When do you cross multiply? When you look at the condition of directly proportional. Pay attention here. You cross multiply when you get the condition of directly proportional. Yeah. Now let's simplify this. So if you want to find out x, you have 3 into 15 by 8. Yeah, I hope no problem at all here. Yeah. Yes. So if you have 45 by 8, you will get some values in decimals. Yeah, I hope you will be able to calculate that. So these many cups of flour is required. okay, because they are in directly proportional. So how does chain rule work? Chain rule work in a way, I'll give one more example. Let me give you one more example here. Let me give you one more example here. Let's say you required 5 cups of flour to prepare 8 muffins. Okay, 8 muffins. So how many cups of flour is required if you want to prepare 5 muffins? Yeah, you need to you prepare 5 muffins. So here 8 muffins and 5 muffins. Now tell me, if the number of muffins required is less, will you require more quantity of flour? No, definitely it should be less, right? So it should be less because the number of muffins required is less. Now this you need to understand. There is no formula to understand this. You need to think in real life, with a real life example, and see whether the number of muffins are less, then you require less quantity of flour or more quantity of flour. So it will be definitely less quantity. So see, if one side decreases, the other also decreases. This is what? Directly proportional. Yeah. How do you solve this? Simple, cross multiply. So cross multiply, and this is x. So what will be x? Cross multiply means here cross multiplication will be equal, yeah, x into 8. So what do you get here? 25 by 8, that's equal to x. Yeah. So approximate, do you want to find the approximate value? You can divide 25 by 8. .125 cups of flour you required to prepare 5 muffins. Okay, this is to be precise. Now remember these numbers. 5 cups of flour is required to prepare 8 muffins. How many cups of flour is required to prepare 5 muffins? Now I will give you another example with the same numbers. Now look at this example. Suppose if I say you required 5 men to paint a house having 8 rooms. Yeah, you required 5 men to paint a house having 8 rooms. Yeah, only for 8 rooms you required 5 men to paint the house. Clear? Okay, this is given information. Now what you need to find, you need to find how many men required to paint 5 rooms. Tell me, how do we solve this? Shall we cross multiply here also? Think about it. If I cross multiply here, I am going to get the same value, like 3.12, because numbers are same. Yeah. So if I cross multiply, I am going to get what? 3.125 people required to paint 5 rooms. Yeah. So what do we understand here? If the number of rooms, we need to relate this. So if number of rooms, that means the work decreases, you require less number of people to work on it. Yeah. If you want to complete in the same time, if you reduce the amount of work, you require less workforce. So what are they? They are directly proportional. Do you understand? They are directly proportional. So in directly proportional, what do? You cross multiply, simplify, get the value of x. Now let me change the condition. Here. Another question. I hope you are understanding this, and this is for beginners, guys. If you already know the concept of proportion, you can jump to the next video. Well, for beginners, Now it's given that you need 5 men to paint one house. Paint one house in 8 days. Okay, this is given information. What do you need to find? You need to find how many men required to paint the same house in 5 days. Shall I repeat the question? Listen. 5 men required to paint one house in 8 days. So how many men required to paint the same house but now in 5 days? So time has reduced. You need to think, is it directly proportional? Think about it. If the time reduces to do the same work, you required more people to work on it or less people to work on it? If time reduced, then you required more people to work on it or less people to work on the same work? Of course, if you have less time, you need more people to work on it, right? You need more people to work on it. See how is it working? If one side increases, the other is decreasing, or if one side decreases, the other is increasing. This is inverse effect, right? So this will be part of inversely proportional. Yeah. So in problem statements, when you get the problem statements, you need to identify with a given condition that what is the relation. Is it inversely proportional or directly proportional? So you need to apply, you need to think about a real-time example and then see whether you need to apply directly proportional or inversely proportional. All right. So think practically. Less work, less work, less people required, but less time, then you require more people. So this is inversely proportional. This is case of what? Inversely proportional. Yeah, this is what? Inversely proportional. Inversely proportional. All right. Now in inversely proportional, am I allowed to do cross multiply? Think about it. Yeah. When we are using this cross multiplication in directly proportional, can we use the same cross multiplication of chain rule in inversely proportional also? The answer is no. Answer is no. You are going to get the wrong answer. Here, when you apply chain rule, in case of inversely proportional, if you apply chain rule, then you use straight product, not the cross product. Keep in mind, you use the straight product, not the cross product. Yeah. So 2 steps. First, identify the relationship. Is it inversely proportional or directly proportional? Second, keep in mind, if it is directly proportional, then in chain rule, if it is directly proportional, let's make a note here. If it is directly proportional, then we use cross multiply, and if it is inversely proportional, then we use straight multiply. Yeah, keep in mind, directly proportional and inversely proportional. Yes. Yep. Okay. This is chain rule. Right? So in chain rule, it's not always that you only cross multiply. You multiply, you straight multiply also. In which case, if it is inversely proportional. So let's multiply. Let's do straight multiplication and see what you get. So you got 5 men multiply by 8 days. That's equal to, let's say, X number of people multiply by 5 days. All right. So what do you get here? When you cancel this 5 and 5, the number of people you required in this case, they are 8. Okay, so 8 men required to complete the same work in 5 days. Yeah, do you see the difference? Cross multiply, you're getting 3.125. Straight multiply, you're getting 8. Right? This you need to understand. I hope you are clear. Yeah, so directly proportional, identify and then apply chain rule. Yeah, I suggest to apply chain rule, it's faster to get the answer. Okay, so I hope this question is clear. Now let me jump to the first question. Okay, so this says three partners A, B, C invest 1600, 1800 and 2300 respectively in a business. 1600, 1800 and 2300 in a business. What would be B's share in a profit of 399? Now, they are talking about investment and profit. Investment and profit. Tell me one thing. Who should get highest profit or who should get higher profit? The one who has invested more or the one who has invested less? We need to compare only investment and profit. Don't think about any other condition. Don't think about time. Don't think about efforts. Don't think about, okay, maybe A has worked in the company so that he should get the higher profit share. Don't think about those factors. Stick to the question. All right. So if it's only investment and profit, so who should get more profit? The one who invested more or the one who invested less? Absolutely right. The one who invested more, right? So this is a case of what? Directly proportional. This is a case of directly proportional. So see how do we solve this. Now the total profit is what? 399, right? This is total profit. So for this 399 as a total profit, what is the total investment? If you look at this, total investment is 1600 plus 1800 plus 2300. Let's add all of them. Okay, so your total profit here, sorry, total investment here is 1600 plus 1800 plus 2300. So total investment is 5700. Okay, this is given to us. I hope it's going fine. So far so good. Okay, now question said find B's share in this profit. Okay, what was B's investment? B's investment is 1800. What should be his profit share? You want to assume X? You can. Okay, now because it is directly proportional, we cross multiply. We are applying chain rule. Okay, this cross, why are we cross multiplying? Because we are applying chain rule, remember. Okay, so in chain rule, if it is directly proportional, cross multiply, inversely proportional, straight multiply. Here we are looking cross multiply. I'll give you more example of inversely proportional also. Just stay tuned. So cross multiply, you got 5700 multiply by X equal to 399 multiply by 1800. Now let me find the value of X. Now next time I'm going to skip this step. Okay, I'm going to skip this step. Yeah, I'll directly write this step. Yeah, we need to save time, right, in exam. Yeah, so to find X, 1800 multiply by 399 divide by this part. Okay, we'll do it next time. So 399 multiply by 1800 divide by 5700. Now simplify this. This is cancelled. Okay, let's see what if you cancel 57 and 399 7 times. 7 sevens are 49, 5 sevens are 35, 35 plus 4 is 39. You can cancel 399 directly with 57. Okay, now what you need to do, you need to multiply this 7 with 18 and what you get here is 126. That's your answer. So in the profit of, in the total profit of 399, a total profit of, in a total profit of 399, let me type. Typing is better. Yeah, anyways my handwriting is beautiful, no? Okay, so in total profit of 399, B's share is how much? You got the answer. You can tick mark the option in the question and go to the next one. I'm just writing for people to understand this better. So in the total profit of 399, B's share is 126. Okay, that's the answer. Okay, so I hope directly proportional is clear. Identify, if one increases, other also increases, directly proportional. Write what is given, write what do we need to find out, cross multiply, and you got the answer. Okay, let's see what happens in case of inversely proportional. We have already seen in this example inversely proportional. If time less, number of people required is more. So it's not cross multiply, it is straight product, right? So let's see the question. Okay, so how do we identify if one side increases, other decreases? If one side decreases, other increases. Inverse effect. Okay, let's see this question. So what does this question say? Okay, we have solved this type of question. So if there are 6 workers, they can complete a task in 10 hours. How many workers are needed to complete the same task in 5 hours? Pause the video, try attempting this question. Okay, all right. Okay, if you got the answer now, then let's solve this together. So now number of worker and time, inversely proportional or directly proportional? Think. Take easy example. If you are the only one and you need to complete a work in 2 days, you complete a project in 2 days, fine. But if you have to complete that work in 1 day, you need a helping hand, right? You need a helping hand, correct? Because you need to work with you have to work with more efficiency, right? You require more manpower, right? So you need to take some easy example with the same terms and understand if time is less, do you require more people or less people? Okay, if you have different terms also, like let's say demand and supply, then you need to think about it, whether it is one increases then the other, what is the effect of the what is the effect on the other element or other term. Okay, let's continue. So workers, yeah, and time. Are you going to decorate the solution this way in the exam? Don't do it. What I'm doing it just for explanation. So number of workers required 6, time required 10. What do we need to find? We need to find how many workers are needed if we have to complete the work in 5 hours. Half the time, right? So what do we do? This is inversely proportional. So straight product will be equal. So straight product will be equal means 6 into 10 equal to, let's say this is x, so x into 5. Straight product is equal. Okay, here cross multiply is equal. Yeah, see, cross multiply is equal. 5 into 5 equal to x into 8, right? Here inverse, in case of inversely proportional, under the chain rule, straight product is same. Okay, simplify. 5 2s are 10, 6 2s are 12. We got the answer, right? Yeah, anyways, but in inversely proportional, you can also understand if the time is half, then the number of people required should be doubled. If time is half, then number of people required should be double. Inverse. If time is 1/3, the number of people required should be 3 times. If time is 2/3, then the number of people required should be 3/2. Inverse. Yeah. Okay. So I hope this part is also clear. Okay. You know, I can give you a lot of formulas for different situations, but I do not appreciate. You know, there is no point in writing all those formulas and then by heart formulas and then solve the question. I'm not a big fan of formulas, because you are going to answer the entrance exam where they are going to check your reasoning skills, problem solving skills, not whether you know the formula or not. Okay, if the formula has to be applied, we have to use the formula if it is required. Okay, but not for, don't make formula for every situation. I have seen some books where you have formula for everything. Don't go for it, please. Anyways, let's come to this. Yeah, so at a constant temperature, pressure of a defined mass of gas is inversely proportional to the volume. If the pressure reduced by 20%, find the respective change in the volume. Okay, pause this video, try to attempt it. Alright, so what do we have? We got pressure and we got volume. What is given to us? Pressure reduced by 20%, then find the respective change in the volume. This is, we need to find out what is given to us. Nothing. Yeah, so we assume that okay, pressure reduced by 20%, that means initially we have to know what is the pressure value, right? Or we have to assume what is the pressure value. So you remember we have discussed in percentage topic that if your question is in percentage, option also in percentage, then we assume value, we assume numbers instead of assuming variables. Yeah, what do? We assume numbers instead of assuming variables. Okay, when do we do that? If question is in percentage and answer also in percentage. So definitely if there is a reduce in pressure by 20%, then change in the volume will also be in the percentage form, right? So in percentage chapter we had this note. What was the note? If the entire question, you don't have any other number mentioned, is in percentage and answer also in percentage form, then we can, it's not compulsory but it will be easier, we can assume number instead of assuming variable. All right. Okay. So let me assume the pressure initially was 100. So the volume also assume 100. Okay. I assumed the pressure 100, volume 100. Okay, and I count this to be given information because initially there has to be some pressure value, volume value. Then only we can find out the change. Okay, what do we need to find? We need to find if pressure reduced by 20%. So if pressure reduced by 20%, if 100 reduced by 20%, per 100 reduced by 20%, so 100 reduced by 20. What is 20% of 100? 20. So now pressure is 80. We need to find the volume. Can I say volume also become 80? No, we can't. Why? Because this is inversely proportional. What is that? Inversely proportional. Yeah, it means if one decreases, the pressure decreases, volume increases. If pressure decreases, volume increases. I hope you are making notes. Make handwritten notes. That's very important. So shall I use cross multiplication or straight multiplication? Absolutely right. Use straight product. Why? Because it is inversely proportional. Yeah. यार अब तो याद हो जाना चाहिए ना. By now you should, I mean that must have been memorized. Chain rule. Directly proportional, cross multiply. Inversely proportional, straight multiply. Okay. So 100 into 100 equal to 80 into x. Let's say x. Okay. What is x to be? here x will be 100 into 100 by 80. Cancel. So 1000 by 8 will be 125. That's x. How much is x? 125. So question said find the change. Don't find the volume value, find the change. What is the change? 100 become 125. What is the change? It is increasing by 25. 100 become 125. That means volume is increasing by 25. 100 become 125. So volume increasing. Yeah, volume is increasing in this case. Yeah, by 25 over 100. If you want to convert into percentage, multiply by 100. What is the percentage value here? 25%. Yeah, I hope you got this. If not, please rewind. I have explained in detail. Please rewind this part. Okay, this is how it happens. Now this type of situation we have discussed in this fraction percentage table also, that if you get a situation where one increases, the other decreases, you can take help of the fraction percentage value also if the value is one among the fraction percentage. For example, now we have seen that volume decreases by 20%. Sorry, pressure decreases by 20%. So volume should increase by what? A value above 25%. Yeah, we have discussed this in the fraction percentage table, guys. See, you discussed this in the fraction percentage. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you will go through that. Price into consumption is equal to expenditure. If price increases, the consumption should decrease. If price increases by 16.66%, the consumption should decrease by 14.28%. So for inversely proportional, you if I will be using the shortcut there. So remember fraction percentage table. Yeah, if the percentage decrease is given here, percentage increase will be a value above that. If percentage increases 6.67%, pressure increases by 6.67%, then volume should reduce because they are inversely proportional. So if pressure increases by 6.67%, the volume should decrease by 6.25%. This you will be able to answer fast if you know fraction percentage table. Question: am I going to get the numbers only from fraction percentage in exam? Not necessary, but most of the time I keep repeating in my class, the examiner don't want to check your mathematical, how fast you are calculating. They want to see your reasoning capability, problem solving skills, right? So they will give you questions which are the numbers which are familiar, like which can be made from any table or any kind of shortcut which we have. Come back to this. I hope this is fine. Let's see next question. The price of television set increases by 25%, due to which the sales reduce in such a way that overall revenue remains same. So price increases, sales is reducing. Which kind of relationship is this? Inversely proportional, right? Inversely proportional. One increases, other decreases. Absolutely right. Find the percentage decrease in the sales. All right. So now, can I make use of the fraction percentage table? Please. Yes, please. I mean, I can solve by doing this the straight product and assuming the values also. But if pressure increases by 25%, volume should decrease with the value a number below this 25% in the fraction percentage table. If volume, let me remove this. All right. Okay. If the volume not the volume here. What was the question? Yeah, the price increases by 25%. If price increases by 25%, that is given, then the sales reduce in a way so that there is no change in the revenue. So sales reduce should be a value below. Reduce means, that's how you can remember. Reduce means go a step below. Increase means go a step above. Okay, so given is increase, you need to find out decrease, go a step below 20%. All right. So yes, we made use of fraction. I am happy. Fraction percentage table, I used it. Okay, fine. I am happy. Yeah. So I understand that. I hope you agree that I am not teaching anything rubbish. It's important. Yeah, all those small informations are important. Yes. So sales reduced by 20%. Amazing. Perfect. All right. Oh God, it's a big question. Let's see how it's working. So the pressure of gas in a container is directly proportional to the temperature in Kelvin and inversely proportional to the volume. You got inversely proportional as well as directly proportional, both relation in the same question. Now this is out of chain rule. You actually have to put proportion sign and make equation and simplify. Let's do it. If initial pressure is so and so, then find the next thing. Okay. Now let me show you the usage of the proportion sign. So question said the pressure here is directly proportional to temperature and inversely proportional to volume. If initial pressure is okay, now what do? We remove the proportional sign because we don't understand that and replace with equal. Can I only put equal here? No, I need a proportional constant also. Time by, okay, temperature by volume. All right. Now, whenever you come across this kind of situation, which kind of situation where you have to make the equation, you will always have first condition which has all the values given. You can see this. If initial pressure is 2 atm, so pressure here given is 2 atm. For temperature 300, so T equal to 300 Kelvin, and volume is 10 liters. So volume given is 10 liters. You see, all these variables values are given. Why do they do that? They do that so that you can find out the value of proportional constant. You can find out the value of proportional constant. Okay, you will always see this happening. Now substitute. So you got P equal to 2, K you need to find out, T is 300, V is 10. If I simplify this, cancel, K equal to what? 2 by 30, that gives you 1 upon 15. That is the value of K. Now this value of K will replace in the original equation here, right? We replace in the original equation here. Let's do that. So now you got P equal to proportional constant. Why is it called constant? Because it will remain same in this particular question. For this particular question, K will always be 1 upon 15, constant, variable which keeps on changing. This is constant, 1 upon 15. All right. T by V. Now this time they have new pressure. We need to find out if the temperature is 400 Kelvin and volume is 5 liters. Okay. Let's find out the pressure for temperature 400 Kelvin and volume 5 liters. Can we simplify and get the value of pressure? Come on, that's not very complicated. Okay, calculation, yeah, calculation we keep on doing, but are you understanding the logic? Yeah, here we have directly proportional, inversely proportional, both things given. Better off making the equation, remove the sign of proportion, replace with the equal and proportional constant. As I said, in such case you will always have first condition where all the values are given, all the values of all variable values are given. Substitute that, find the value of proportional constant, substitute, use the proportional constant in the second condition with the remaining values which are given in the second condition. Find what question said. Yeah, question told you to find. Alright, if you simplify this, 25, 25, 25, 5, 5, 25, 25, 4s are 4, 16. So that will get you 16 by 3. Yes, 16 by 3. Yeah, that's the value. So 5 point something. 5.33 something. Alright. Or you can say 16 by 3 depending on the options you have. Okay. 4s are 100. Correct. Yes. Yes. All right. Oh, we got done with the questions. So I hope you like today's lecture. Inversely proportional, directly proportional, chain rule. If you don't have, if you have multiple relation given, then how to make use of the proportional as a sign, replace with proportional constant. Okay. So I will see in the next lecture. In the next lecture, that's very interesting lecture. Okay. In proportion, we are going to learn about jointly proportional. Okay. Very interesting questions. All right. So I will see you in the next lecture. My name is Shyam Manawat, signing off now. See you in the next lecture. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye bye.